Hey everyone, it's Shakira. Welcome back to my channel. And in today's video, we're going to talk about how to deal with anxiety. Now, I was inspired to do this video because I know people with PTSD, and I was actually told by one of my therapists, like back in the day. I went to therapy several years ago, and I was just telling her, about the things that were going on in my marriage at the time. And she was telling me that the reason why I felt a certain type of way, the reason why my body would react to certain things that would happen within my household, within my marriage, is because of PTSD. So if you're like, well, you're not a therapist. No, I'm not a therapist. I'm not a counselor. I am simply going to share the tools with you that have helped me overcome anxiety. I have a video on anxiety and depression because I also had to deal with that as well. For your anxiety or your depression, well, we'll just talk about anxiety. But the reason, in this video, we'll just talk about anxiety. But the reason for said issues will be different for everyone. I'm not going to try to say that my technique or what I'm going to share with you will help. Everyone is going to be different, but also your mind has to agree with whatever treatment you are using. So when the mind agrees, the body will follow. But if you are a pessimist, if you are one of those people that are like, oh, I'm not going to do that, or that stuff doesn't work, then baby, it's not going to work for you. But I'm here to tell you that if you seek the help and then you apply the things that you learn, you will get better. Your anxiety will get better. Now, there's a such thing as situational anxiety or depression, right? Because just because you know how to manage your feelings, and that's what it's really about. It's about managing and coping with your feelings. That is what gets you through and over the hump and gets you, allows you the ability to function. The problem with most people is that we get paralyzed by anxiety, by things that we are afraid of, or people that have created situations. Like, for example, my anxiety was based on, the people that were in my life, and they would do things that would create anxiety for me, or just their mere presence or their voice would create anxiety for me. And, the PTSD part comes in where, if you are in an abusive relationship, verbally or physically, when you see, all right, somebody call me. So anyway, when you see a person when you see somebody that has caused drama in your life, right? And let's say you and your spouse are always arguing or whatever. So every time you see them, you're on the defense. The cells in your body remember certain situations. That's why when you think about certain things, you mentally can go back to that time. Let's say when you were 5 and your dad bought you some ice cream, you felt really, really good about that. And you remember the summer, you remembered how warm you felt. You remembered everything about that situation. Your cells remember it. It's embedded in your consciousness. So whenever you think about certain things, that time, makes you feel a certain way. And the same thing with negative situations. And that's why I encourage people to really work on letting go of things, work on your anxiety, work on depression, and work on your coping skills so that you're not living in the past in that negative space. Now, we can also choose to remember certain things. Like, I choose to remember certain things and I choose to forget other things because I want, because I don't like to live in the past in that negative space. Okay. So, what really helped me and what continues to help me is yoga. And when I say yoga, I don't mean the actual physical practice. I mean meditation. I mean using your breath. Now, I happen to be a yoga teacher, so even though my personal practice is not what it used to be, I still get the benefit of, the breath work that I have my students do because I'm an example for them. I have to sometimes show people how to breathe because most people breathe really shallow. Most people aren't even aware of their breath. And so the awareness part is becoming aware of that breath, becoming aware that you're breathing shallow, becoming aware of your chest, becoming aware of the air as it enters your lungs and as it exits your body, okay? So that awareness is very key in treating, sorry, I just took my sock off, treating or helping, we'll say helping, anxiety and depression. So we'll do a breathing exercise here really quickly. I would say, okay, let me just say this before we get started. When I first started, right, when I first started meditation and whatnot, I had a meditation room. It was also my office, but it was like a meditation room, and it was my own personal space, right? I, was married, and when you're married, you have to share your room and all that other stuff. But if you have the ability to, I gotta straighten out my leg, y'all. I pulled something teaching today, and ooh. Anyway, so if you're or if you live with someone, your spouse, your partner, whatever, find a space that is just for you. This is going to be really helpful, and this tab is getting on my nerves. This is going to be very helpful for you to create a vibe. You find somewhere to sit on the floor, preferably. Make sure you're comfortable, and when you are ready, go ahead and close your eyes. We are going to monitor our breathing for just a breath or two. And when I say monitor your breath, I mean just see how you're breathing right now. Is it shallow, or are you taking deep breaths? From here, go ahead and take a nice deep inhale through your nose. And exhale. We'll do that again. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. Exhale. At the top of this next inhale, pause. So inhale, fill your lungs. And pause at the top of your breath. Exhale. I'll be silent the next couple breath cycles. Continue to follow your breath as you inhale. Continue to follow your exhale. Also notice the pause at the top of your breath and the pause at the bottom of your breath. Last time, inhale deeply. Exhale. Before you open your eyes, I'd like you to notice any differences that you feel in your body. mainly your jaw and your shoulders. Maybe your eyelids or your forehead. Just notice that you feel more relaxed. When you're ready, we'll blink our eyes open. And already, I feel like chill. I feel a little emotional. And when I've like been in class teaching, my students will come up and tell me, I feel like I was gonna cry, and I'm like, well, that's a release. When you are doing this type of work, like our bodies hold so much trauma that we don't even think about. We just walk around just like with all this crap inside and no outlet for the crap. Meaning the things that we've been through, and for those that have PTSD, it's going to be different for every single person. So if you are, if you have served our country, or if you were in an abusive relationship, if you were in some sort of accident, I mean, everything it's going to be different for everyone. But there's a way out of all of the mess that seems to be trapped inside. And so when you start emotionally releasing, when you're crying during yoga or whatever, or meditation, this is a good thing, and it's nothing to be afraid of, and it's nothing to run away from. In fact, you want to run toward that, because then that is when you're going to release yourself from that that turmoil. So this is how you free yourself from whatever is going on up here. And like I said, it's going to be different for everyone. Everyone has their own journey and their own path, but medication is not the only way. I'm not going to say don't take your meds. Like if you, I would never say that, but meds were not going to be good for me. But if you have something like schizophrenia, bipolar, whatever other things that are out there in terms of mental illness stuff, you need to take that if you have not found a way to cope with your symptoms. You need to, I would definitely recommend you take what you need to take, and then maybe at some point you can find a way to cope. I firmly believe that is like the biggest problem, is that people don't know how to cope with what it is they're going through, the anxiety. But I also do not own anxiety. I do not own anything. I'm very, you need to become aware of your feelings, how you feel physically at all times, because when you become aware, when you know something's off, I feel some way emotionally, then you can handle it. When you know that something's up, then you can deal with the issue and not put a band-aid over the symptom, i.e. take medication, whereas you could find a way to cope with what's going on if it's not something that needs to, that requires medication. So, yeah, there are many, many, many YouTube meditation tutorials, like guided meditation. I will encourage you to stick with it. When I first started meditating, it was not easy for me. You will have some chatter and stuff like that, but that's normal. You need to remember that you are in control of your mind. You tell your mind what to think. It's very important to remember that. When I find my mind wandering, I bring it back and I rewire my mind. I listen to subliminals as well on YouTube. There are many, many, many things that you can do to help yourself, but you have to find the strength within yourself to do what you need to do to help yourself. It's, empowering to know that you can impact your own mental health in your own life by simply, slowing down and breathing, practicing yoga, turning inward, and, really asking your higher self, your divine self, like, what do I do? What do I need to do? Or, programming your own mind with the things that you need to hear so that you can get through the day, the hour, or 5 minutes. So use your breath to get through your day. And remember that you are in control of your mind, what you think, and all of that. So with that said, I thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.